Hey everybody, welcome to the Real United States. Welcome back to the show, and this is the first, after the introductory episode, of course, the first in our series on the Vietnamese soup bases that we are trying here out that we have never tried before, and the noodle soup that we're going to make from them. Now, in the introductory episode, it may have gone by too fast, but maybe if some of you caught it and thought I just misspoke myself when I said that we bought 40 pounds of noodles. Well, as you can see right here, no, I didn't misspeak, that we bought 40 pounds of noodles. So these are they're just called Taiwan plain noodle. And they're 4-pound boxes. We bought 10 boxes of them. I'm gonna hold them up here so you can see them a little bit. And to give you a frame of reference, because I'm a believer that frame of reference is incredibly important. If you've ever had, canned soup like Campbell's chicken noodle soup, they're once cooked, they're similar to that. They're a little bit wider and I think a little more body. And I personally think they have a little more flavor, but I mean, that's about as close as I can come to something that's commonly consumed that if you have never had these. They're a wheat noodle. These are, 4 pounds of these are $6.99, about $7 for 4 pounds, which 4 pounds of these works out to about 6 meals for the two of us. So 12 meals, for $7. So actually it's a pretty good deal. And I've got 6 cups of water boiling back here. Now as promised, I'm going to start with the gadzao tsaat, or however it is you pronounce that. I have no idea. But it's stir-fried chicken with chili, is what I guess it means. And this is actually a marinade. But we're going to use all these as soup base. Now the soup bases say 2 cups of water per cube. We usually make 6 cups of soup for the two of us. So we're going to go with 6 cups of water and 3 bouillon cubes across the board on all these to try and keep it, so we're not changing too many variables. And that way we have a good comparison. But also, if it seems like it's too strong, we can put in a little more water. But if it's not strong enough, we can put in that 4th cube, because there are 4 cubes in a box. Again, these are 69 cents. The whole thing's a relatively inexpensive meal. Now, I am going to add a little bit of proteins to most of these, or to some of them. In this case, since this is a chicken dish, I'm going to add some cubed chicken that I'll show you here in a minute. We boiled some chicken. Normally, I would just cube up some raw chicken, cook it in the soup to add the additional flavor. We've got the boiled chicken. I'm going to go ahead. It doesn't really make that much difference. So I got my 6 cups of water back here boiling. And, well, I bought some new toys. I bought a new ladle. This ladle is actually really for making stir fry and a wok, but also good for soups. I didn't bring mine from Michigan. It's still back at the house. And I bought a new knife. This is a Chinese chef's knife. I've been looking for a new one for, over a decade, because mine's getting pretty old. This one's actually stainless steel. Mine is carbon steel. I like the carbon steel, but this was only $27, which, if you know anything about these, that's really, I think, a very, very good price. So I like these. They have a nice feel in my hand for me, so that's the style of chef's knife I like to use. So I got some new toys in order to do this whole series. Let me push the noodles out of the way and we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to start, but we got a little Post-it notes on here so I knew what this was. We went through and tried to translate them all. That was an adventure. So they're all wrapped in cellophane and then in foil. So they're sealed up really good and proper. I don't know, that's, like a 3/4 inch per side cube, roughly. It's not perfectly cubic, but anyway, so I'm going to toss in 3 of these. get our soup base going, and then we're going to test it. We're going to taste it. Bever and I are both going to taste it before I start cooking the noodles and everything, because if it's just something, well, smells good, that we don't care for, well, we'll move on to the next one. They smell good.
They do smell good.
So part of our motivation for actually making these videos, because there was so many of these, was so that we could make a record for ourselves of which ones we liked, which ones we didn't maybe like so much, and how we reacted to them. So part of the joy in this whole series was being able to create a permanent record for ourselves. And so we thought, well, as long as we're going to do that, we'll go ahead and we'll share it with all of you. So anyway, I'm going to keep all these little boxes. Obviously, I still got one cube in there. And we'll probably make some additional notes and shove in the box, and somehow we'll get organized. But I got my bouillon going. This ladle is much too big for this pan, but it was my intent to use it with a wok. But we're still working on the wok situation. I left both of my woks back in the house in Michigan, so we'll get there, folks. Now, again, I said, about 6 meals out of a box of these. So, see, there's sulfate on the outside of the box, and then they're all sealed in a big, heavy plastic bag. And oh, I don't want to do that because I'm going to end up with too many. About an inch diameter group per person, but for 2 people, I don't know, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, fistful is about appropriate for 2 people. At least for the way we eat. That's about what will serve the 2 of us, dry weight. Oh, but I did say, in fact, my bad, that before I did this, and it looks like our bouillon is all dissolved. So I'm going to take a little bit out and test it before I start cooking the noodles. And of course it's boiling hot, which is how it has to be in order to cook the noodles. Oh yeah, that is exactly what. So I'm gonna let Bev step in here. She's gonna come on camera. That's exactly what it said it is chicken and chili.
Okay.
So it's got a little heat to it. It's not, gonna tear your throat out, but it's you can definitely tell that there's some little punch to it, a little bit of capsaicin in there.
Yeah, but it's good.
But it's good. It's very good, yeah.
That's really good. It's got a little kick to it, but it's not overwhelming. And for a lot of people that eat a lot of chili peppers and use a lot of serranos and stuff, they probably wouldn't even notice this. But
yeah, this would be considered relatively mild. You've got a little bit of flavor in there. You can tell that there's some chilies in it, but it's certainly not going to burn you. Now, I guess my question is, do you want me to throw the other cube in?
No.
That's sufficiently strong?
That's perfect. I like it.
We're golden, folks.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Kind of difficult doing this in these cramped quarters. This kitchen is really not designed for filming. But, you do with what you got, where you are. And these cook in just a few minutes. About how many? About 3 minutes. Okay. So, take it kind of easy here. I want them to boil over on me. Okay. Let that cook for a second. I'm going to pop out, like I said, we got some boiled chicken. Put that back in. And a little cutting board here. So,
A cook is hungry.
oh yeah, I could not resist, folks. That's a good brand new knife, so it's good and sharp. Since this is already cooked, really all I need to do is get it in there long enough to warm it up. The noodles are really the only thing that need to cook. Okay. And I got 2 minutes on the noodles, so another minute they're going to be ready. So not only is this a relatively inexpensive dish, but it's pretty quick. I realize this chicken is cold, going to take off a little bit, but we're not really losing too much of our boil. Now, folks, I know this isn't a cooking channel, but it's, you know, it's all part of the, like I said, part of the American experience. All cultures, all countries, everybody, their cuisine is a big part of their lifestyle and their life. So, you know, I think it's only appropriate that I share that with you. And that's our 3 minutes right there. Since I did put the cold chicken in, maybe I'll give it a little bit more, another half a minute or so. But they're certainly cooked already. Those noodles cooked very, very quickly. And that is our ga zao za at bouillon. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one renegade bouillon cube. Maybe we'll actually use it for a marinade on a future date. But I think that's going to do us. And that is how it turns out, folks. See, a very nice, beautiful, golden chicken color to it. And like I say, frame of reference, yeah, it's like a really good full-bodied chicken broth with a little bit of chili flavor to it. And, you know, just ever so slight itty-bitty bit of heat. And, well, I guess this one's mine. Doesn't really make much of a difference. Yeah, even after cooking the noodles in it and putting in the chicken, still nice full-bodied taste. And there, so no problem. So I'm no longer afraid of this, even though I can't pronounce it. Definitely something I will buy again in the future. Thanks for joining us here in the real United States for the first episode in our noodle adventure. And if you got questions or comments or something you want to help me with, that's fine. Leave in the comment section down below. I do love hearing from all of you. I try to get back to everybody I can. If you're new here, this isn't what we do all the time, but certainly welcome. Come along for the adventure. Pick, subscribe, and join us. We're glad to have you with us. And as always, thank you for watching.